Hello everyone, today we're going to have a quick talk about batteries, specifically V-Lock batteries. Now in the old days the only things available were huge things like this, which is an old 140 watt hour one. It's pretty huge. This one's especially massive because it's got an inbuilt charger. You can plug it right in. All you need is this and a kettle lead. Quite useful from that point of view, but massive and heavy. Then the more standard things these days is this. This is a really nice Anton Bauer. They do 90, 150 and some bigger versions, and obviously there's lots of different manufacturers all make things like this. They've all got different features. This I particularly like because it's got a little percentage digital readout, and then when it's drawing power it literally gives you the to the minute runtime left of whatever power it's drawing and whatever accessories you've got plugged into it or the camera, which is, you know, incredibly useful. You've got an hour interview left and it says you've got, you know, 2 hours 40 runtime, you know you're good, right? So that's really useful. What's more popular these days, becoming more popular, are these tiny sort of half-size micro V-mount batteries. So still V-Lock on the back, still the same connectors, but as you can see, less than half the size and weight. You know, really useful little things. This one happens to be a Moman battery. I found this on Amazon. Also on Amazon you can find these, and this is what I'm going to talk about today particularly. This is an Andycine 95 watt hour battery. Really handy, really useful, like this one. But they're all V-Lock batteries. What's the difference and why is one better than the other? Well, if you are like me, you've been doing film and TV for a little while, you've probably used the Bebob micro batteries. I love them. They've got the 3-way D-tap connector, so you can plug in your D-tap either way up. That's really useful. I also quite like the FX Lions. They have a very precise readout on them, and their build quality is excellent. They've got various accessory ports and things like that. Most of them come with at least one, if not two, D-tap power outlets. There's one there, and there's one here on the Momans. Quite like that because you've got either side ability to plug in either side of the battery if it's on the camera or it's on a light or something like that. You can plug in either side. It also has, very handily for charging your phone or indeed any of those other accessories these days that run off USB power, 2 USB outputs on the top there, covered by a little handy semi-waterproof plastic cover. Now we're going to compare that with this, the Andycine. They very kindly sent this for testing, I should say. I bought this one, the Moman, sort of as an experiment as well actually, but I bought that one. Andycine very kindly have sent me this one to compare, and been out with it, been using it on my FX6 and my FS7, and also on this light here. This is quite a nice bright light. This is a Amaran 60D, one of the new little ones, really useful. This also has 2 D-taps on the top, so again, depending what your setup is like, having D-taps outputs on the side or the top might benefit what you're doing particularly. They go contrary directions, so you can have one poking out that way and one poking out that way, so they're not going to interfere with each other. That's been well thought out. They've got these nice rubber covers over the top. I rather like those, and they have one USB output. Now the only problem with there's only one USB output compared to some of the other batteries, but it just comes with this little push-in cover on the top there, which doesn't connect anywhere, so that is immediately going to get lost and potentially let water into the top of the battery, which I don't think is a very good thing necessarily. We don't want to be out in the rain filming, but there's some occasions where you can't help it. It's not predictable, especially here in England. Something I really like is the power display, the charge level indicator, if you will, which is this fantastic, nice, long LED. Looks very snazzy and easy to read up the side of the battery. In comparison, the Moman, it's all covered over, and the various other ones, so they're all covered over with these little plastic rubber covers. But this stays on there, that's not going to fall off. This has also quite a nice, useful, easy to read battery level indicator, charge indicator, multi-LED, very useful. This is 99 watt hours, it says, and this is 95. So this has got a few more moments of charge left in it, but I think in a real world situation, not going to make much difference. They are almost the same size. The Andycine actually is a little bit thicker. Can you see that? So it's actually a little bit bigger. On all other sides, it's about the same sort of size, but depth-wise, it is a bit deeper. Again, I can't imagine that's going to matter much, but why, with the reduced capacity of this compared to this, it should be bigger? I don't know. Maybe there's more protective circuitry in there. Who knows? Most of these have got some sort of level of overcharge or decharge or short circuit protection. So that might account for why these are thicker. Can't work out otherwise. In terms of delivering power, of course, all these batteries do the same thing. They supply 14.4 or 12 volts, whatever your equipment draws, up to a certain ampage output. They deliver that whatever's needed. So they all do that. The difference is whether you enjoy the small size of these, or you'd rather have a nice reassuring chunky battery. These are especially reliable. They have all the circuitry in them for overcharge protection, short circuit protection, overheating protection, all that sort of stuff, and they're safe to take on a plane. Anton Bauer also make a micro version of these Titan batteries, so you can have this same thing, same capacity, or 150 watt even, in this size. So obviously more expensive, but for that level of protection, depends what sort of jobs you're doing, whether you need that or not. I certainly appreciate the ruggedness, the reliability, and all of that extra circuitry in there that help these be reliable and not conk out, which I have had lithium-ion batteries do. In fact, I have 4 in my cupboard that are just dead from being short-circuited or over-discharged or something like that. Don't work, don't charge anymore, whatever I try. This should keep going, whatever. These, they're a lot cheaper, they're a lot smaller, really handy to carry around. You know, it's probably about 2 to 1 in terms of weight. Oh, there's that blooming USB cover just fallen off, and I can't find it for the moment. That is a big negative for this, but compared to all the others, in terms of delivering power or whatever you need, they're all more or less similar. So how do we conclude? The Andycine 95, really nice, really handy, really light little battery. I love the fact it's got 2 inverse D-taps on the top. That is particularly useful. I don't like the USB cover that has already fallen off and got lost, and the fact it's only got 1 USB output, whereas for around about the same price the Moman battery has got 2, and it's got a cover on the USB cover ports that doesn't fall off. So, you know, but those are relatively minor things. If you were choosing any batteries coming up, whether it be big batteries, small batteries, they all deliver power the same way. I'd be interested to know and to find out what level of protection these have got. They're that bit smaller, and there must be a compromise somewhere, and I think it probably will be in the protective circuitry within them. Oh, I've just realised there's a benefit I didn't notice to this one earlier. It has a 1/4-20 threaded screw point in the bottom, so that you can use it on a stand or screw it on to any point of your little camera rig. So if you're using a DSLR or mirrorless camera on some sort of shoulder rig or something, you can actually screw this straight on there. On the end of a magic arm or something like that, and position that where you need it. That's quite handy without having to buy an extra mount. I have a few little mounts in there for V-Lock batteries to put them on stands and stuff like that. This doesn't need it. It's got a thread screw point on there. That's really useful. Oh, I've done it down. That might actually even it up, if not beat it, compared to this. This I use on little lights like that, and actually my big lights as well, but I have to use a mount, little clamp, to go onto the stand or onto the light itself to mount this on. This would not need that because it has its own screw thread. So that's actually, I think that's put it out in front. So there we go. So we've got massive old batteries, we've got more modern, slightly smaller but much more rugged equivalents, and we have tiny micro batteries. And yeah, out of today's test, I think actually I'm going to give it to the Andycine. Thanks very much for sending it to me. I'll continue to use them, and if anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know. Thanks for watching.